Ken Okel understands working under pressure. He spent a decade in TV news, organized hurricane relief volunteers, and ran a professional ballet company in a recession. He knows your need to do more.
How often are you acting like a firefighter on the job, where you're trying to get your big picture things done, those things that make you money, and then all of a sudden you're forced to suddenly drop it and deal with some sort of emergency?
And in walks one of my staff members, one of my administrative staff. And you ever have that situation where you can tell that someone's on the warpath just from their body language? So I can see this woman, she is walking on it, and she's got that look, and she puts her foot down, and she goes, "Ken, we have too much toilet paper." And she storms out. Now, okay, in my world, having too much toilet paper isn't much of a problem. Maybe it's a storage issue, but I'd rather have too much than too little. But for that person on that day, that was her biggest concern. She wanted to bring it to me. Daily challenges. Every day is a new day, new deadlines, new pressures. You have to learn how to work with people, how to make quick decisions, and for much of this time, you're on the frontier. You're on your own. There's a framework of support there, but you're the one who has to make the call on things. Somewhere in a landfill, there is video of the first newscast that I ever anchored. It was pretty scary. One of the stories I had to read was about Bike Week. And the funny thing about that story was I had to say the word bicycle. For some reason, I could not say the word bicycle that day. And of course, that word appeared in the story 3 times. We all get better. The best advice I ever got, we once brought an anchor coach into the station I worked at. And he said, it's very simple. If you want to get better, you have to watch yourself. So what I would do after every newscast, grab a legal pad, grab a pen, and I would watch myself. I don't like this. There are 1,000 other things. I'd probably rather go to the dentist than watch myself. But if you want to get better, you need to do it.
We live in a complex, ever-changing world. So I want you to think about how you can change the game.
I've noticed something about gyms. Most of them are not run very well. So that made me think, okay, don't treat your customers like gym members. What do I mean by that? Okay, so when you first enter into a gym, you meet with people and they show you around. And they're talking it up, and you're gonna get fit, you're gonna go to these classes, and is everything great, and this and that, and you're like, yes, sign me up, here's 2 credit cards, I'll make sure nothing expires. So you sign up. But then over time, you kind of feel like the relationship has changed. Because every month, that credit card gets billed, and you start to notice, gee, gym's getting a little run down, they don't clean it much. I mean, I once went to a gym where, if you'll excuse me, their cleanup routine consisted of a guy walking around with a rag, kind of like a napkin, and doing this. That was it. So I knew perhaps this is not the gym for me. So over time you feel like you're not being appreciated, and the funny thing is that so much of the time, these businesses are run on the idea, we just want to sign you up. We don't care if you ever come back as long as your credit card stays good. So they understand that eventually they will have a huge rate of people who are just leaving, who are so fed up they eventually leave. To me, this is a crazy business model because it's like, why don't you focus on the customers you have?
The gist of this exercise was, I wanted to give you all a challenge or an obstacle.
You embrace the unknown. and came up with your own solution. Can you do that same thing in your world, in your daily business?